Hi guys, now I'm going to show you how to make this card. This is actually going to be one of the first in a series of Remember That, because a while back I showed you how to do that background, and I don't know if you can see the shimmer. Yes, you should be able to. I call it shimmer blocks. There might be another name for it, but basically what you do is you use a clear block to create that technique. To start out though, we need an empty, sorry it didn't zoom in right, an empty spritzer bottle from Stampin' Up! And I've put rubbing alcohol in it, just regular, cheap stuff. And then I'm using the smooch spritz and put that in there. If you still have some of our old shimmer spray or shimmer paint, you can use that, but since we don't sell it anymore, I'm using this one. Mix it in there, shake it up real well, and have it handy. I'm gonna take my lid off already, and then we're going to take our ink pads and ink up the block. I'm using crushed curry and Tangelo Twist. I'm going to apply the crushed curry all over the block, so it's covered completely. And then I'm going to use my darker ink, which is the Tangelo Twist, and cover up the top part 3/4, and I'll kind of make it a little ragged looking. And then we're going to use our spritzer, and you want to get this saturated. You don't want it just a little moist. So I'm going to spritz it on there. It's going to be kind of running and puddly. Now I'm not fast enough, it's making white background on the top, but that's okay. Each card will look different. I've just put white cardstock down, and now I'm pressing it down and squish it out, and the white cardstock is just whisper white. Clean that off, and there is our background created. Now I'm going to use my heat tool and dry it off a little bit so I can continue on. And this is an unedited video, so it might be a little bit lengthy. You can always fast forward if you don't want to hear that. So now my background is dry, and I wanted to show you how nice that shimmers. You can use any kind of color combination. I think I posted a card yesterday and it's in the blue, so go back and look at that one. Now before you continue on, I would recommend to clean your block. I just use baby wipe and just a paper towel or a terry kitchen towel or whatever you have to clean it and dry it off. And then you can go on and finish the card. I'm just going to put my tree on there. I don't know if you just saw that. I've put the photopolymer stamp face down and then put the block on the back of it. So I picked it up with it. I'm going to ink up my stamp in early espresso. And I'm going to stamp my tree about here. And then I wanted to add the blossoms, but I don't want them to be too dark, so I ink them, stamp them off once, and then I'm going to stamp right over it like we always do. And then I'm going to do my little bicycle that comes with the same set. I'm going to ink that up, I'm going to stamp down there. I should stay in the camera when I demonstrate these things. Ink the frame up. I keep it in brown because I want that to be a silhouette, but if you stamp it regularly you could make the frame any other color. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the ends with the insides of the tires. There. It's actually pretty easy. Before I forget, I'm going to sponge my whole outside of the card, and I like that one actually heavy duty sponged. can never go wrong with sponging. I'm reaching across, so let me pull this over. There. And while that's drying, I'm going to work on my grading. I'm just going to use some scrap paper. I got some over here. There, got my pieces. I'm going to stamp my greeting from the Teeny Tiny Wishes. It says Happy Birthday. I'm going to use the Cajun Craze. And I'm going to use my word window punch. I'm going to align it where my grading is further on the left. And I'm going to punch another piece with the modern label punch out of Early Espresso. And then I'm going to use my trusty mini glue dots. I'm actually going to use 3, so it's going to hold. I'm going to put that centered. And then I'm going to fetch my adhesive gun that was left on my workstation. So, you know, gotta be sporty here too. Put my adhesive on here. And then I'm going to add it to the layer of my card. Make sure I put the birthday, I pull it out so the Y ends with the end of the card. And then I'm going to fold that back. And I'm going to use my bone folder to apply some pressure. And then we're going to pretty it up. I'm going to use some of the candy dots, the natural ones. And I'm going to start out with the darkest one. Put that down. And then a little bit lighter. So Early Espresso, chocolate chip, and then the lightest color, which I think is probably soft suede. There. Got them on. I use my piercer to transfer them over. And then I've already pre-cut some strips. I've got my card folded already in half. Let me come out just a little bit. And then I'm going to put adhesive on those strips. And I'm going to slap them on the card for you. I'm going to do it like that. And one down there. There is no measurement to be, taken in consideration. I just sort of space them out even. That's the nice thing on the handmade card like that. And then on this card, before I put it on, I want to put little mini brats in the middle of the tires. So let me use my foam mat underneath. Searching for the right word. Sometimes I have problems with that, but I usually catch on. There. Pierce little holes in there. And open the back. And you see how it's bled through the back because of the amount of alcohol I've used. And it's okay. Nobody's going to look at the back of your card. And there. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. When it's a large piece like that, I usually use 5. So it doesn't kind of sag down in the middle. And then there, going to put that onto our card. That was a really fast card with a cool technique. So I hope you're gonna give it a try and create some fantabulous backgrounds. Have fun stamping and check back in.